Scott is a host of great artists and music that we can play all day here at work.
That sounds great. Are there any personalities or shows that air on the station?
Oh, certainly. I listen to the Bianca Burwell show every day from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. She has one of the hottest shows during the workday.
You sound excited, so I'm sure she does. Where do I go to listen?
Go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com or download the TuneIn app on your smart device. Search The Beat Drops Radio. Make it your favorite station and listen 24 hours a day anywhere.
Really? I'm going to listen right now. Thanks so much.
Don't forget to follow on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks again.
The station with the best music. Best music. Best music. Beat Drop Radio, 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 Beat Drop Radio. Bianca Radio, Bianca Radio, Beat Drop Radio. Radio station you need just one. I see you looking, but you hard to impress. Then you find Beat Drop Radio. Now you're 3 to 5 drive time is the best. It's the Bianca Burwell show. You gon' listen in for what you've been missing, man. She hot. Who you got for your radio drop? The new entrepreneur make my radio rock. From Atlanta to the Cayman, the internet came in out of East and the West. Both loving what you're saying. And then you got to my day. It's like I'm a friend who's loving what you play. Out with the new one. Beat Drops Radio, Beat Drops Radio. The Bianca Burwell show. Bianca Burwell show. Beat Drop Radio, Beat Drop Radio, Beat Drop Radio, Beat Drop Radio. I told you, I got my video. Beat Drop Radio, Beat Drop Radio, Bianca Burwell show. Bianca Burwell show.
You are tuned into your girl Bianca Burwell on the Beat Drops Radio, your top 40 pop and R&B station, New Beat of Atlanta. And if you're watching, you see my man right here, the guest of the hour. Love the show, I guess. James Worthy is in the building, and we'll be talking to him about his career, the things that he's doing, the people that he's worked with, and we're gonna talk about some current events too, because there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. I hope he's ready, because we're gonna talk about some stuff. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. The calling number is 404-826-9223. Again, 404-826-9223. That is the call-in number. The listen line for all of you all that know somebody who has a government phone, but they do not have internet. They can listen to the call. All they got to do is call 404-347-0418. 401-347-0418. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, but you're in the cubicle, we know how it is. All you got to do is just go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live. Then we have the Q&A box open. You can type whatever it is. Give us about 20 or 30 seconds, and then you'll be able to be a part of the conversation. So keep it locked right here. This is New Music Monday. So James, producer, songwriter, Worthy, he is going to be, sharing some music with us today. So I am looking forward. I hope you are too. And shout out to Jay Corley over there in Marietta. The barbershop is over there tuned in. He let me know we listening. Also, all of my people in Texas, St. Louis, I see you guys listening as well. All of Atlanta, appreciate you guys. So here we go. So keep it locked right here on the Bianca Burwell Show. I am excited. Notorious B.I.G. hit me. All right. I'm gonna move this up a little bit so we have a bit more visual view.
a great personality, playing well with people, and ideas that you know would make a great show, then contact the Beat Drops Radio and email your YouTube links, website, and contact information to the Beat Drops Radio at gmail.com to set up an appointment today. Act quickly as we are gearing up for the new year and expanding our network to include interesting, creative, fun, original, and captivating shows. And this just might be you. We are a family-friendly, top 40 pop and R&B station located in the Atlanta metro area. Now, if you don't live in the Atlanta area and have pre-recorded shows, we have time slots available for you too. Don't delay and email us today, TheBeatDropsRadio@gmail.com.
Coming in after this one. You are tuned into the Bianca Burwell on the Beat Drops Radio, your top 45 R&B station, New Beat of Atlanta. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens, go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live, and you'll be able to see us in here vibing. I have music producer and songwriter James Worthy in the building. What's going on, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to have you in here, on my show this time. Last time you was here during Full Valley, he was with Dave Tolliver and El Garth and Jay Millie.
I know the whole team was in here.
Yeah. On Wednesday night, they come in every Wednesday. If you guys haven't listened to that show yet, they act a complete fool.
Oh yeah. I loved it though.
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
Yeah, it was. And I just want to say that we are going to get into a whole lot with you and the current projects that you got going on. But I got some things on my mind. I got some things on my mind because there's a whole lot going on in the world right now. So a lot of unrest. A lot of people are upset about things, and I want to vibe with you on that.
Absolutely.
Just to see what you think, because I have a son. I have a young son. He's 14. And there are things and conversations that we have. But I have a daughter also. She's a little bit older, and I found myself having differing conversations. Some of them similar, but differing conversations with my son.
Right.
As opposed to my daughter. You know what I mean? So, just trying to get him, because he's taller than me. I know I'm not too tall. You know what I'm saying? But he's a little taller than me. And I was just trying to get him to understand that, he's looking at the news. He's getting discouraged like a lot of other people are.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, it just seems like stuff like this just keeps happening. I said, son, you got to understand that when you're on the street, you got to be on your best behavior. You got to behave in a certain way.
Absolutely.
Because they don't see a 14-year-old. They see a man.
Yeah, they see a human. That's with anybody.
I'm like, you gotta, carry yourself. All right. Good gracious. So what's your thoughts on all these things that's been going on? The first thing that we had was the Michael Brown. At least I ain't gonna say the first, but I'll just say of the latest.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's very unfortunate. I think it's a sad situation. And I think in today's world, I think people's mindset are so backwards. Why do you think it's okay to, kill another person just like that?
Right.
That's not right at all. And I think people know that, but I think people are too scared to really, believe in themselves properly, and that's the problem we have in our own culture,
Yeah, it is. It's a sad situation. I had Gerald Rose and Michael Bell, and they brought in somebody, Troya. Young lady, very young lady, charismatic, enthusiastic, and you don't see too many young people like her. That's like taking the time to actually get to know rights and things that's going on, but it brought some things to my attention. And I try to have, civil rights organizations come in and kind of express the different things that's going on and what's happening in the street that we don't typically hear because, when you're watching the news, do you feel like sometimes you're kind of missing some elements, some parts?
Oh yeah, I think they leave out a lot of stuff, or they leave out a lot of stuff because, sometimes these situations people want to leave stuff out because they don't want you to know certain things, which is why stories get so twisted and things come out at a later time because, that's the intent, which is sad. And, in society, it shouldn't be like that because the news is supposed to update you,
right.
To protect you in a way. But, and nowadays, it's just not like that.
It doesn't seem to be happening. We have a lot of media apartheid.
Yeah.
A lot of media apartheid. And, just recently, did you happen to see, the actor, Idris Elba?
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
Yeah,
I think he's very talented. And over the weekend, I was with my parents, and we were watching Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's either Long Walk Home or Long Journey or something like that. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see that, or if anybody that's listening had an opportunity to see that. But it just really chronicles the life of Nelson Mandela over the time period in which he was incarcerated and came out and became president over there in South Africa. And the thing about that was so interesting to me when I was watching that is that, you had a minority that was in power.
Right.
I just had the white minority that was in power, and they were getting real nervous, very, very nervous because they were looking at the majority of that country, starting to, a lot of unrest and rising up and all of that, and they tried to make a deal with Nelson Mandela. Now, there's some things in there that I didn't know that had taken place that my parents was like, you didn't know that? Like Winnie Mandela.
Yeah.
I did not know that they were like on opposite ends as far as how to deal with it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that either.
I did not know. She was more of the militant, let's fight the power, to make them fear us. And he was the more peaceful, and they had only been married for 4 years before he went to jail.
Oh, wow.
4 years. That's not really a long time.
Yeah.
And then for him to be incarcerated for like 30 years, you don't know that person. They don't know you.
Yeah.
You're growing and all, and they're growing, and he stopped right where they, where they were at 4 years of marriage, and she had been through all kinds of things, arresting her, taking her away from her kids constantly, and that's what kind of hardened her.
Yeah.
To where she was like, I'm gonna make them fear me.
Hmm.
And but Nelson Mandela got out when they finally freed him. And people don't realize sometimes that what we deal with here in the United States, they dealt with over there in South Africa a lot longer than what we did.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was looking at the years like the 80s, the 90s. I was like, golly, that is right.
Mm-hmm.
Till they finally let him out of what, 92, 93, something like that, when he finally was released. And they were trying to strike a deal with him. Like, tell your people that peace.
Yeah.
And a lot of them wasn't hearing that. And a lot of it was because of Winnie.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of it was because of Winnie. And he was like, you know what? I think it'd be better that we separate. I think it's better to be, divorced and live in our own houses.
Yeah.
And you could see how that struggle, it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
That unified.
Two different worlds.
Yeah, it was. And he was like, wow, you can't do it that way. But one thing I thought that was very important in that movie, and apparently chronicled in his life and what happened over in South Africa, is that the white minority was afraid.
Mm.
They were afraid that they said, if your people come into power, what are they going to do to us?
Right.
That's what they were saying to him. He said, no, when we come to power. It wasn't a matter of if.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that was going to happen, but his whole thing was he wasn't going to allow it. Nelson Mandela wasn't going to allow it to be where they just enslaved him and all of that. And that made me think that might be the situation that's happening here. Fear of that it'll be a situation to where we just go absolutely ballistic. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, that, this, that, and the other. And I don't think that's the case. Maybe I might be, I guess there might be some people that disagree with me.
Well, you know, I don't think it might get too crazy, but I see movement. I see people who are upset, and I understand. You know, us as a black whole, you know, we need to stand up for what's right. You know, because sometimes we just sit back and you know, we think, oh, something needs to change, but we do nothing about it.
Right.
You know, so I think it's positive. The only thing about that is, I think some people are going about it the wrong way. You know, just recently they've had, you know, protesting down here, you know, and people are, you know, beating other people up and protesting on the highway and all that, you know, which is, I understand, but at the same time, I don't think that's the correct way to go. You know, there's a better way to handle it. But I get it. You know, there needs to be change.
So do you think, you know, communication is the
Oh yeah, I think Black people need to communicate with each other better. I think we need to uplift each other. I think we need to support each other better. You know, because it's too much of me, and too much selfishness of I want for myself. You know, really in today's time, creativity is really made for you to help the world. You know, it's of course it's your creation, so you're helping yourself, but that needs to be brought out to the world. You know, you want to help another person to inspire them to be better.
That's right.
You know, so I think I really think it's a matter of better communication, and once people see us come together in a correct light, they're gonna be like, well, wow, like we can't stop this movement.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
That's what I think.
I think you're right about that. You know, that communication, uplifting, and it was something else that was discussed before, and I still feel the same way. In the 60s is when Black Americans were actually able to begin voting, even though there was like so many, you know, obstacles placed in the way. Somebody had posted not long ago in my aunt, shout out to my aunt Ann up there in Toledo, Ohio. She posted something on Facebook, and it had to do with the Harvard students. The Harvard students were taking the, I think it was the St. Louis voting literacy type test.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw that or not, but I think it was either St. Louis or it was New Orleans. But they had to take this test. It was supposed to be a literacy test. 1964, given to Black Americans to ensure that, okay, you have to pass this test in order to be able to vote. Right? And it sounds on the up and up at first, like, okay, you want to make sure that the person's able to read, you know, but it was set up in such a way. They gave 30 questions that had to be answered in 10 minutes, and you had to get 100% of them correct in order for you to get the vote. Oh, wow. You know how many Harvard students of 2014 passed that 1964 literacy test?
I can't imagine.
None. Zero.
I'm not surprised.
Zero. They were looking at like, and it was of all ethnicities, all races. It was Asians, there were Blacks, there were whites, there were Hispanics, and Indian. And absolutely none of them were able. They said this is obviously, it was made to make the people, you know, feel ignorant and like, man, I might as well not even come out and vote because I can't even pass a literacy test. So all of those blocks and barricades that were put there, you know, for them to not even be able to vote at all, period. You know, it's like, okay, we'll let you vote, but you gotta pass this test. 30 questions in 10 minutes. And all the questions were things that you had to read. How did you do with word problems when you were coming up? I didn't do too well with them.
Yeah, I
couldn't stand them. I could not stand those things, but that's how they did it.
Wow,
you know,
that's insane.
Isn't it though?
That's insane.
You know, it's just so many things that have been placed in the way to keep certain people in situations and to keep them from not pursuing. I just the basic freedoms and the basic rights that all of us should have, you know. And
but you know what that is? That's an example of self-hate. You know, because
Now explain it.
I say that because when you have situations like that, when people present you in situations like that, there's something inside of them that they don't like. And when you self-hate yourself, you pretty much hate the next person. Or not necessarily hate them, but you have more of a malicious intent to hurt them, you know? Because, you know, if you don't feel good about yourself or you hate something about you, you're not gonna fully accept another person. And, you know, it's sad to say, but, you know, we've gone through many years of the same thing where we've seen it through, you know, white civilization, you know, where you know what happened to us, you know, so it's not surprising to me, you know, that's the world we live in. You know, there's a lot of white people who have a lot of self-hate in them, you know, and that comes from, you know, it could stem from what they've learned from their parents. It could have been from generations ago where they've learned it and it passed on. You know, that's just, you know, the nature of that, you know, where they came from. You know, we've experienced that. But, you know, it's just unfortunate. You know?
It's a real unfortunate situation. And you know what? That divide and conquer kind of situation, because in the 60s, same time, you know, Black Americans were all fighting for the same thing, and that was just civil rights.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, what happened was an introduction of women's liberation. You remember, you know, reading about that? I mean, my mom and them, their generation, like, I remember. But that wasn't the Black woman's fight. That was the white woman's fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because her man wasn't listening to her, and she wanted liberation, but all the Black Americans were on the same page. They wanted freedom, they wanted civil rights, but they pulled the Black woman away from the Black man in that fight for civil rights. And the white woman at that time never saw the Black woman as her sister to be fighting for women's liberation together. And that was another diversionary tactic, if you will, to keep away from, because if you keep coming together as one, and you're accomplishing things. I mean, you look at the Black men then, the leaders that we had. They were suited up, they was clean, they made sure that they were educated and they spoke well.
Absolutely.
You know, and folks was intimidated. They were.
Oh, yeah.
And you fast forward now, and it's like, good Lord, what has happened?
Yeah.
The education is just not there, you know, just going all kinds of wayward ways. And you know, they're like, it's a joke. They're not serious. Okay, they'll march. In a minute, they'll forget about it. You know, that type of situation is just it's unfortunate. You know, and so you've got let's see, NFL players like that had the "I can't breathe" put on their shirts and all that. And you saw the St. Louis Rams do have the hands up, don't shoot situation, and I thought that was cool. I was like, you know, you should be able. This is America, right? Oh yeah, we're supposed to be able to, you know, freedom of speech and demonstrate or peacefully protest, but there was a whole outrage. Why?
Well, you know, anything positive like that, you know, there's always going to be backlash. You know, that's just, you know, a matter of, again, self-hate. You know, I thought it was great. I thought that, you know, I can finally say, hey, you know, us Black people are starting to stand up again and really go out and, you know, do something to where, you know, something has happened to us, you know, stand up and fight for it. You know, that wasn't justice.
No.
You know, not at all.
Did you know? Now, I didn't know this. Troya, I appreciate you. Shout out to you, lady. She brought to my attention, and I had to go and find it because MSNBC did report on it, that in the Michael Brown case, the grand jury was handed a copy of 1985 law that was declared unconstitutional, which said that if a person is fleeing or running away from the police were justified in shooting that person, then that was the law. In 1985, it was declared unconstitutional, and that is the law that the grand jury was given throughout the entire time that they went through the entire process, and then at the end, they were then given a copy of the updated law, but was not given the information as far as what was new, what wasn't new. And what we saw was with that, and those that had paid attention to that situation, is that they were intentionally misguided. The grand jury made that decision based upon the information that they were given that hadn't been lost since 1985. Wow. Is that not crazy?
That's beyond.
Yeah, that is. And I said, girl, so I had to go and check that. And sure enough, that was the case. They were given the wrong information, and people would want to argue about certain things. And I was like, wait a minute. If you're listening to the arguments and that is what you see, then, well, it's justified. That's what the law is, and that wasn't since 1985.
Yeah.
You can't justify that type of situation.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing you can do.
You can't. You can't. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go on a break real quick because, like I said, I just have things on my mind that I try to get off the first hour.
I understand.
Try to get the current events in and try to educate my people who haven't taken the time to do some reading, and that's where we fall short. We don't read, or we don't pay attention, or we listen to snippets of different things rather than delving into things a little bit further just to see, what exactly is the situation. Because a lot of times we want to side with us, but I want to find out, okay, what is the full, can I get the fullest picture? Of course, I wasn't in the room with the grand jury. I've been on a jury before. And the grand jury is just regular people. They don't have law degrees. They haven't taken criminal justice. A lot of them don't even understand the basic freedoms of the Fifth Amendment and the Sixth Amendment. Have absolutely no idea, that when police officers pull them over, that you don't have to answer questions. Now, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
You do not have to answer, and you can tell them, I don't answer questions. And I saw this demonstrated. I read it and I saw it. There's some things on YouTube where you can see in action. You do not have to answer any questions. And I had no idea. Yep. Matter of fact, they have a card that can be printed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that link on our Facebook fan page so you guys can take a look at that, because I was absolutely floored. The police came up. The gentleman rolled the window down maybe about 2 inches and asked, what's your name, sir? He said, I do not answer questions, and gave them the card. He said, you don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. He said, well, can you tell me somebody who does answer questions? I don't answer questions. And if you're not under suspicion of anything, if you committed no crime, they have to let you go. And those are basic things that we just don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying. I just want to share that with you guys. I know some people looking at the radio right now like, what? I don't have to. What?
That's good information.
Yeah, but a lot of us get kind of pulled in, and we incriminate ourselves based upon things that we say, but we don't actually have to.
Well, a lot of these, these cops and these policemen, they like to intimidate you.
Yeah, they do.
All of that's, you might think that in the beginning, like, oh, I know my rights, but they'll get at you and try to intimidate you, and all that stuff goes out the door.
Yep. You're like, what? You're like, yep, I'm gonna. And it's a situation that took place in Sandusky, Ohio, with a young couple. White woman, black man, had a 2-week-old baby. And stay tuned, because I want you guys to hear how that situation went down. Keep it right here on the Bianca Burwell Show. I got my man, music producer, songwriter, getting all into what's going on right now, James Worthy. So keep it right now. We're gonna roll to Joe if you lose. So keep it on. That's that Tracy Braxton. Last call. What you think about that?
I think it's a cool record. I didn't expect that for her first single. You know, I mean, personally, you know, me being a producer, I think she should have went with a record that showed more of her vocal ability.
Yeah.
But it's a great record. It's a nice radio record.
I'm glad she went ahead and did it. You know, like I was saying, that, you know, you ain't gotta wait on your sisters no more. This ain't back in the day. This ain't the late 80s and 90s, you know.
Yeah, do what it do, girl.
You know, this is a whole different animal now. You know, you can get out there and self-promote, self-produce, self everything right now.
Exactly.
You know, P&D does, you know, the person, all of that. You know,
there you go. There you go.
Right now. You listen to Bianca Burwell, Bianca Burwell Show on the Beat Drops Radio. I have music producer, songwriter James Worthy in the building. He has worked with Young Bird, Truth Hurts, Bobby Brown Jr., and more, native of Queens, New York, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And you made your way down here to the A.
I did. I sure did.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens, go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live. And we have a Q&A box open. So if you want to join in on the conversation, it says on there, because some people have asked, they're like, how do I? It says join the conversation, right where it says that, click. And then you can type whatever you want.
Click that button.
You know, and it'll come up on the message board. Give us about 20 to 30 seconds, and we'll be able to see it and address it. Before I went to break, I wanted to share with you guys a situation that I just saw recently. It took place in Sandusky, Ohio. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Sandusky is about maybe 40 minutes away from my hometown.
Yeah.
And it's a spot called Cedar Point. Love it. It's one of those, if you go there, you go to any other amusement park, you'd be let down.
Oh, wow.
They have new rides every year. It expands. It's also a resort. I mean, it's the business. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is. It's the business. I took my kids, and when I took them to Six Flags after that, they was ready to go.
Wow.
Like the first 30 minutes, they was like, "This what?"
Wow.
Because Cedar Point. So Cedar Point is basically that's really what it is. I mean, of course, it's a city as well, but that's the draw. Like Disney World with Orlando, that's the draw.
Wow.
Now, one thing I have to say about my home state is that, you know, there are a lot of individuals there that haven't gotten past the interracial relationships.
Yeah.
It bothers some people up there. And I'm going to post this too as well. But there was a situation, and what I'm reflecting on is knowing your rights and different things that you can do, what you don't have to do in regards to dealing with the police. And I'm not saying be militant, don't do that. Be respectful at all times. But what happened was you have a couple, interracial couple, white woman, black man. They had just had a 2-week-old baby in the back seat, and the police pulled them over. It was daytime, no infractions. They asked for her driver's license. She gave them the driver's license. They went back and checked it. With that, they wanted to check and make sure that her driver's license was valid. And I was like, boy, is this reminiscent right here. But at any rate, they checked it, and then they wanted his information. He said, I don't have to give you my information. I don't have to identify myself.
Right.
Is she valid? Yes. Okay, then are we being arrested? Okay, well then you should let us go.
Right.
They were pissed. The police officers was pissed because this man would not identify himself.
Wow.
Hey, what's going on, Derek Russell? How you doing, man? He typed in on the message board there, Derek Russell. I'm doing good, Derek. Appreciate you, bro. But you know, they were upset because he would not identify himself, and he said, "I do not have to tell you who I am.
Exactly.
I do not have to identify myself." You checked her ID, and that's it. They said, "Step out of the car." So he said, "I do not have to step out of the car. I'm not under arrest. I have not broken any laws.
Wow.
You know, I haven't done anything." And they were like really aggravated because now it's a power struggle.
Wow.
It's a power struggle now. You're not doing what you want us to do, what we want you to do.
Right.
So then they start trying to scare them. They had their 2-week-old baby in the backseat.
Right.
And once they saw that, they said, we're going to have your child taken by child services. Said,
Wow.
for what? We're not doing anything. Said, we're going to arrest you. For what? Obstruction. He said, obstruction of what? Nobody could. They called for backup, all of that. They was like, sir, get out of the car. Now she's crying because they're saying they're going to take the baby. He said, baby, don't get out the car. You do not have to get out the car. Stay sitting right here in the car. The other officer was like, they went and got the canine. They got the canine, and the officer said, you fit the description. I need your identification. He said, I don't fit the description of anything. I wasn't doing anything. He said, I'm not him. I haven't broken any laws. Whoever it is you're looking for, I'm not him. I'm riding in the car. We have our baby in the back. You're accusing us of all kinds of stuff. Y'all, this is all, I'm going to put this on this so y'all can see this whole thing play out. The video was like over 7 minutes long of them threatening them. Now, what it is, the reason why the police officers brought in the canine is because if the dog hits on the vehicle, then that supersedes, then they're able to go ahead and search your vehicle without your consent.
Right.
That's the reason why they did that. He said the dog hit on something. He said the dog didn't hit on anything. There are no drugs in here. I've broken no laws. He said, why did you go over? He said, we pulled over because the lights weren't on. He said, it's daylight outside. We don't have to have lights on. It was crazy, but I was like, oh, Lord, that's why I left, Lord. Ohio. I love Ohio. I do. But have mercy, that just was reminiscent.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and after all of that, they charged him because she finally got out of the car, and then he's recording everything. They're pissed, and they charged him with obstruction of justice or obstruction of. It was something crazy. So he's fighting that to this day.
Wow.
I'm just saying. One thing that officers cannot stand is when they are dealing with someone who knows what you can and cannot do to them. Yeah. That's aggravating.
Yeah.
That's like, doggone it, who told this individual?
They feel they're not in control.
Right. And as long as they feel like they got the upper hand on stuff, then things like that are going to continue to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the situation. Now, with all of this, I was saying, and apparently I spoke too soon when I said this, but I said, it's unfortunate the things that's going on right now, but I know one person who's probably happy because they eased up off of him was Bill Cosby.
Oh, God.
No sooner than I said that, James, he was back in the news. Back in the news. What are your thoughts as far as Bill Cosby? I know it's, but he's being tried in the court of public opinion. But what are your thoughts on Mr.
Oh,
Bill
man,
Cosby?
this is it's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
In this type of situation, it's one of those things where you don't really know what to believe at certain points. Like, because the media is something else.
Yeah.
They can spin things around and make you look like you're a person you're not. I understand that. I really can't say that. I really can't say he did it or not. I really can't. I know there's probably pieces of so-called evidence around and, witnesses or whatever. I can only listen to what I've heard thus far about the situation. And from what I've heard, I can't really cause a judgment yet on, if he's done it or not. But
I hate to see it.
Yeah, I just hate to see situations like this.
You hate to see it. My thought with Bill Cosby is this. I feel like, has he cheated on his wife? Probably, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't believe all of these chicks is telling the truth. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I just really felt that way. As folks trying to make a come up, as folks lying, as folks that's like, ooh, let me jump on the bandwagon.
Well, see, this is the thing, though. When you're in a position like Bill Cosby, who he is, he's legendary in his own right. And when you have people who are close to you or people who are close to you, you never know really full intentions of what a person wants to do or what they can do. All you can do is hope that they do the right thing.
That's right.
And I think it's just a situation that's unfortunate where there's people close to him or around him that see dollar signs,
yes.
and they see that they can see a benefit in them knowing him, and they make false stories. They sell stories to these media outlets to make some money.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I think that's the case.
It is sad. I think they did reference one of the ladies tried to write a book or did write a book. They also talked about one of them trying to sell the story to a tabloid, but that didn't come through. So all those things are going to come to fruition or come to a head.
Absolutely.
But Whoopi Goldberg, she's come to his rescue, well, or at least come to his defense, saying, look, the man, he hasn't even gone to court or anything like that. So let that roll. And Jill Scott, she also has voiced her opinion on Twitter. If you guys have been paying attention to that, and just recently, Bill Cosby said thank you to Jill Scott and Whoopi Goldberg via Twitter.
Yeah.
For that. And now, as of yesterday, Hugh Hefner, because some people, this latest individual talked about her possibly being or allegedly being molested by Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
When she was 15 at the Playboy Mansion, I believe, if I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hugh Hefner, this is in the Huffington Post, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to look at that. Hugh Hefner responded to that recent sexual allegations against Bill Cosby, and one that supposedly occurred at the Playboy Mansion in 1974. I just want to point out again that that's 40 years ago. Okay, 1974. And what he says is, and I quote, Bill Cosby has been a good friend for many years. That the thought of these mere allegations is truly saddening. I would never tolerate this kind of behavior, regardless of who was involved. Now, Hefner's comments came as a response of the lawsuit that was filed
right
in the state of California, because apparently in California, if you are, or if it's someone that has been molested or raped at a young age, after the age of 15, if they give, let me say it like this, they're given the opportunity that after they become an adult, that if they feel like at some time that relationship, or not relationship, or that occurrence or that rape caused psychological issues, that they then can file a lawsuit. So the statute of limitations is not the same in the state of California as it is in other states. So having that one, that's how she was able to file a lawsuit, because that's the way that it is in the state of California. So y'all better be mindful of that, doggone folk out of California acting a fool. But I'm just saying that she said she realized 2-3 years ago that this has caused psychological damage to her. So she's filing a lawsuit against Bill Cosby.
See, that's the thing. I mean, why would you say that caused damage 2-3 years down the line? If he's done that to you, that's something right off the top. That's something you go through right after. Like, you would be messed up right then and there.
I mean, 40 years you go down the line and you just now, like, what I realized? That this has caused me psychological damage.
See, that doesn't add up at all.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, clearly that's a cry for attention.
That's what it seems like to me.
A cry for a come up.
Yeah, it does.
It's ridiculous.
But you know what this does do? Because Bill Cosby wasn't saying anything before. I'm pretty sure he was following the advice of his attorneys. Now he really doesn't have to answer anything, because he could say, well, right now we're under litigation, so there's a lawsuit filed, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, he can.
Yeah, he can. So Cosby's lawyer, Martin Singer, has called Huss, and that's what they Huth, H-U-T-H, claims absolutely false, unreliable, and untimely. Cosby team also filed court documents claiming extortion from this very same lady, according to documents apparently that ABC News was able to get a hold of. Okay, that the lawyer demanded $100,000 for her silence. This is the same one that filed the lawsuit. Her attorney wanted $100,000 from Bill Cosby for her to be quiet, and later increased the amount to $250,000 as additional women came forward with similar accusations. What that sound like? You trying to come up?
Yeah, that's.
You answer for $250,000, and I won't say nothing else, Bill Cosby. Nothing. If you give me $250,000, you ain't hurt.
That's ridiculous.
Now you know that's gonna come into play, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it will. He's pretty deep in the situation, but I mean, it's just sad.
It is. It's a sad situation, and more sad news. And I'm just sorry, but this is what I do on my show. I talk about the things that's going on, some things that other media outlets may not pay a whole lot of attention to or even care to. Just enjoying the character assassination of those who haven't even had their day in court. I don't know. I thought it was we were innocent until proven guilty. But sometimes what folks do, especially if they want the desired result, they try the cases in the public,
Absolutely,
the court of public opinion, to try to sway everyone a particular way, and that is propaganda. When you see certain images over and over and over again to try to get you to think and feel a certain way by a particular person or a particular group or a particular class, that's exactly what they do. And because a lot of us, as far as Black Americans, do not own a lot of the media outlets like this one, I get to about 72,000 listeners. I have nothing on NBC or ABC, but try to throw a pebble in there, just
exactly.
throw a little bit of ripple.
There you go.
Now Casey Kasem, he's somebody that we all have come to love back in the day, DJ and whatnot. And we know that his death and that whole situation was real jacked up, and the things that happened with him. But American Express is coming after Casey Kasem's estate. And the reason why is because apparently somebody in his family or whatever has run up $41,046.70 in his name.
Oh wow!
And they're presuming that it's his widow, Jean, that has possibly used it in crazy ways. Because Jean, she was battling a lot with his children. It just was crazy.
Yeah.
So they're thinking that's who it is, and they want their money. American Express said, "I don't care. We want our money."
Wow.
Is that not crazy? $41,000. You just said, well, he dead. So, they won't say nothing.
That's disrespect, though.
Yeah, it is. To the ultimate.
Yeah, that's disrespect.
Even in death, you can't. And just think.
Well, that's the thing of you have to question who has the correct intent around you. It's so sad to where, it could be your spouse who's so close to you, and once a situation is presented to them, bam, there they go.
Crazy. Now, in case you guys didn't know that Casey Kasem's body is still above ground in Norway, still has not had a proper burial even 6 months after his death. Wow. Is that not crazy? Wow. Another thing, before we delve into James Worthy music, producer, songwriter, because we about to go in on you.
Oh boy.
We got Mace. Mace, y'all know Mace. He's the rapper turned reverend turned rapper.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. Mace, apparently he had this chick put on all the ads to promote his new single called what's it called? Why Can't We? All right, and this chick, her name is Stephanie Delgado. She sued him because her picture, was all over everything. All right. And she wanted $60,000 in damages because she felt like the picture was effective in promoting his single, and apparently maybe he didn't get permission. It looks like and what it says is that he grabbed her picture from her Instagram and put it all over the advertisements and all that. Mace responded to the lawsuit, so he never responded to the lawsuit. Excuse me. So the judge, entered a default judgment, right?
Yeah.
Now, but the judge wanted her, Miss Stephanie, to prove how much the picture was worth, because she said she filed a lawsuit for $60,000. Well, she said she once made $25,000 for a commercial shoot to promote an artist's music. So the judge said, "Well, prove it. Bring me in some type of proof or whatever." And she said, "Well, I only got paid in cash and I made a deal with a guy named Wu." So the judge said, "All right, we'll give you $7,500." She wanted, and I'm going to show you this picture. That's the chick right there.
Wow.
That's the chick right there. So you guys, be careful now. You want to file these lawsuits.
Yeah, but that's really a waste of time. I mean, if he used your image and it's not, you know, it's not harming you or in any way as far as you know, a political sense,
Right.
you know, if you were hurting her career or whatever, you know, then that's different. You know, if he did, she can file for defamation, but obviously that's not the case.
Nope.
So, you know, I mean, I really don't understand her argument, but okay.
Yeah, she tried to come up on 60 grand. The judge was
Everybody
like,
trying to come up. It's crazy.
and you know what? He might have cut her a check for 75 grand if she had talked to him.
Right.
Rather than go file a lawsuit.
Yeah. Now, if it is a situation where he did take the image without her consent, then that's something different. You know, he should, you know, do the right thing and you know, let her know that, hey, we're going to be using your image for the promotion. Whoop-de-whoop, I'll throw her a little something.
Right.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody be great. Especially since she ain't had to go to you go to Instagram photo.
Right. You know, oh boy.
Some craziness. All right, I feel like I've gotten it off my chest now. You know, I had to do that. So this is going to be exclusively me and you talking about you and what you got going on. This is a New Music Monday. So keep it locked right here for the Bianca Burwell Show. We're going to be talking to, or continue talking to, James Worthy. This is Cheech Bartley featuring Tierra Marie, Whatever I Want to Be. You are tuned into the Bianca Burwell Show on the Beat Drops Radio, your top 45 and R&B station. New Beat of Atlanta. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens, go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com. Click on Watch Live, and you'll see us sitting right here. And I am sitting with music producer, songwriter James Worthy. And apparently, you know, he's a Queens, New Yorker native. That's where he is from. I've been sitting here chatting it up with him, you know, just kind of getting his. I like to pick your brain. I like people to feel like, you know, when they heard you, at least on this show, that they've gotten to know you.
Absolutely.
You know, not one of those where they kind of rush you in for an interview. You get about 10 minutes, and then you get a roll out.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, this is my name. This is, you know, what's coming out, and holla at you.
Yeah, I hate that.
You know, but apparently you've been growing professionally. You know, creating your own footsteps. You're blazing your own path.
Absolutely.
You know, in the industry for about 5 years now. You know, and that's really cool. And you work with individuals like Young Bird, and we've seen Young Bird on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I don't know. There's some ups and downs on that show.
Yeah, it's a little whirlwind over there.
Yeah, Bobby Brown Jr.
Oh,
Truth Hurts. I love Truth Hurts, man.
Yeah, it's just like my sister. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Man, her first, you know, I mean, Truth Hurts, man. I wish I could have found a clean version of I'm Not Here to Party. I can't remember what I'm not here to party. I just came to have a good time. Yeah, that one, I love that song. I played that like 50 million times.
Yeah, man, she got some records on her belt. You know,
hey, I miss her. Like,
yeah, we coming.
You working? You know, we just bring on her now. Amber Holcomb.
Yep, Amber Holcomb.
Mm-hmm. Am I saying it right? Kasan?
Keeson.
All right, cool beans. You work with a lot of individuals, and you got some more folks that you got up under your belt. It ain't like you also ran or nothing like that, right?
We working.
You know, and you also have the a team, Dream Music Group.
Absolutely, that is my production company. Pretty much a collective of artists, songwriters, producers. You know, we all come together and make great music. You know.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. I'm you know, when I first met you, I'm trying to think. We run into each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
In some spots. Saw you for BET Hip Hop Awards weekend. I saw you again during writing sessions with Kevin Shine.
Yep.
Saw you there. And then, of course, right here in the station with Dave Tyler on Wednesday.
Shout out to Dave.
You know, and now we in the building. Of course, we've connected on social media, so I'm real happy to have you in here, especially on New Music Monday.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I like to have folks in, you know. So I'm gonna roll back a little bit. You know, you've been in the industry for 5 years, but tell me about your beginnings. Like when did you know that production and writing, that was something that you want to do? Is that something? Are you from a musical background as far as your family?
Really, no one did music in my family per se, but I was always around music. You know, I mean, in the household, there were a lot of different genres of music. And, you know, a lot of that was played. And, you know, I was kind of the kid who, you know, liked the content of the songs and the actual beats more than just liking who's the artist, you know. So I kind of took in that liking to, you know, studying the producers and trying to figure out who made the beats and, you know,
you was one of those.
Yeah,
flipped
you know,
it over on the other side.
Flipped it, you know, one of them nerdy types, you know. but yeah, you know, I mean, I started pretty young, you know, getting interested in music and production and songwriting. So, you know, as the years rolled by, you know, I started studying, you know, producers, and, you know, I really looked up to like Q-Tip. And
really?
Jay Dilla and like Timberland and
man,
Burwell.
Jay Dilla?
Yeah.
Man, Jay Dilla though?
Yeah, like, I mean, because my favorite hip hop group was Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them, man. I mean, even just on the production side, what Q-Tip did with those first 3 albums, it was crazy. You know, I mean, they really, really changed hip hop to me. So yeah, you know, studying producers and studying the craft, you know, it's different when you study a producer, but when you actually study the craft to make it your own and brand yourself to, you know, come up with your own style, you know, that really makes the difference. You know, it really makes the difference between a beat maker and a producer, you know.
No, I think it's interesting you said that, beat maker. Now, you know, things have definitely changed over time. Like you said, Q-Tip, you know, Tribe Called Quest, they also, Jungle Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, it was all. I mean, I love that whole movement.
Yeah.
Right there. I was feeling them all 100%. And it's like, you know, there was time that was taken to create and produce something. And then as time changed, I don't know, it just seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into, you know, the creation of the music anymore. How do you feel about that? Like, you know,
I think, I mean, for right now, I think the creativity is lost. I think we're more focused on trying to get hot and trying to get a now record when it should be a longevity record, you know. And I think there's just no content in the songs anymore. I think it's just about getting a catchy hook, throwing some words together on a record, and then just calling it a hit.
Right.
You know, I think we need better songwriting. I think we need better content to where we relate to the songs and we know what you're talking about. You know, we don't know what the hell Young Thug is saying.
I have no idea to this day. You need to put a translator out there or something.
I mean, for real. I mean, he ain't the only one. But you know, it's just we in a time where music has lost its way. You know, I think there's no substance, and the essence of the importance of music is lost, and we need that back. You know,
you're right. That's something that we're missing. I mean, you know, looking at one thing I do like that we have right now is YouTube. We can type in and be like, look, I did that thing with my children. I was like, let me show you some of the things that.
Well, you know, it's YouTube is good and bad. You know, you can find a lot on YouTube, but then you can put a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so you know, it's kind of that win-loss situation. You win some, you lose some.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's just not just YouTube. It's social media. It's radio. It's just the culture we live in as a whole. You know, people get brainwashed to think that some of this music is good music. You know, so some people get brainwashed to where, you know, they like a song when they really don't. You know,
supposed to keep hearing it over and over.
Yeah, you know, and part of that is radio. That's radio brainwashes you to like a song. That's their job. That's their job to make you like a song. That's why they get it in rotation every day. You hear it 5, 10, 20 times.
After a while, you humming it.
Yeah. You know, they get it in your head to where you humming it wherever.
Right.
You know, you dreaming about the song. You know, that's their job. You know, I mean, I can't hate it because that's what they do, but that's what it is. You know. So,
besides Q-Tip and all them, were there others that you listened to when you were coming up?
I mean, I love like Pharrell, Timbaland. You know, like I like producers who like open up the boundaries to production, just to music, period. You know, those who like rebranded themselves every year, gave something to the people that they've never heard before. Like that's why I love Timbaland. You know, Q-Tip, you know, he took sampling to a whole nother level. Jay Dilla took sampling to a whole nother level. You know, Dr. Dre, what he did for West Coast was brilliant. Yeah. You know, like producers like that, you know, who really opened up the envelope and pretty much was an innovator. You know, they're all innovative in their own right.
So how would you categorize James Burwell?
Myself, I categorize myself as fearless because I say that because I'm never put in a box and I'm never tempted to do what someone else is doing. You know, I think I'm more of like a Kanye West than anything because, you know, anybody who knows me knows that I speak a lot of real stuff. Like I keep it 100. A lot of times, you know, I'm really to the point where, you know, I really don't care what a lot of people think negatively because, you know, it's just my thoughts. It's the way I think. Usually when I do say things, it's the truth. You know, I just say a lot of things that people are scared to say. But exactly, pushing that envelope and even going into the music. I love all genres of music. So I think music is just creativity and emotion, period. So there's no boundaries on music. So you're free to make whatever you want to make. Now, when it comes to an artist, I never give what an artist wants. And I say that because it can be a situation where they ask me for a certain record or they ask me for something specific. I tell them no. And I do that because artists get stuck in a box to where they make the same records over and over and over. And if you want to have longevity and you want to create great records, you have to step out of that box. You know, you have to step outside of your comfort zone and innovate yourself. You know, innovate yourself every year, rebrand yourself, because that is what keeps you relevant. You know, so you know, whenever you hear me working with an artist, you know, throughout my whole career, you know, a lot of people study me and how I've moved throughout the years, and they've seen that I've given a new sound to every artist that I've worked with. You know, so it's never consistent to where it's the same beat over and over and over. Like no knock to any other producers, because you know, do what you do, but at the same time, what I'm doing, I'm more of an innovator. So I like to push the boundaries.
I'm glad to hear that, because sometimes some, you know, producers too, they can get in a rut, you know, and artists can get into like that box where they only want to project. We talked about it, and I'm not talking about the debacle as far as Wendy Williams with Aaliyah, but Aaliyah, that was one of the things that we loved about her. Is that she did not do what everybody else was doing, and we loved it. You know, she went left when everybody else went another direction. And she took the risk, and we appreciate that. And I think music is missing that, to where you know you don't want everybody sounding exactly the same. I don't. I remember you know, going to this it was like a freestyle, I don't know what it was. It was a competition with rappers, and it sounded like just 20 rappers on the same beat. That's what it sounded like. I heard no difference. I heard no individuality, nothing that made any of them stand out at all. You know?
That's the problem. You know, if you don't take risks in music, then, you know, how do you know what's going to work in the future? You know, how do you know how to, you know, inspire the next person? You know, because music is about inspiring others. It makes you feel a certain way. You know, it's emotion that you feel inside of you when you hear a certain song. You know, and even to go deeper than that, it's not just about the song. It could be about the lyrics. It could be something that someone in a specific line has said in the song. It could be the melody, to where that melody stuck out to you so much that you can't get it out of your head. You know, that's pure music. You know, not music that sounds cool and it's hot for right now, then it's gone next week. You know, and that's what I've never been a fan of. You know.
Do you really see? You know how you see lifetime awards like for Charlie Wilson, or you know, and others, you know, Anita Baker or whatever. Do you see something like that happen for hip hop artists, like, you know, a 25-year, you know, lifetime award or whatever?
I think it'll happen. I think, you know, a while from now it'll happen. I just think, just in general, I think we just need to get back to the essence of what music was back in the day. You know, when we actually felt something. And if we could do that, then I think we'll be okay. And you know, not to knock any artists, you know, there are some great artists out there, but sometimes they don't get that opportunity or that platform to really showcase what we need. You know, we're so stuck on, you know, the hottest R&B singer or the hottest rapper with the hottest catchy little song or whatever. You know, and I mean, and to my defense, I like some of those songs too. You know, some of them are cool songs. I like some of them. But, you know, I know from my preference that I know what I like, and I know what music should be. And I just don't see it right now.
How does your family feel about what it is that you're doing? Do you have a lot of support as far as, do you have
Oh,
siblings? You have siblings?
Yeah, I have a little sister.
You have a little sister?
Yeah, a little sister.
Looking over at Big Brother James?
Oh yeah.
What's she going?
She calls me Jim.
Jim? She got you Jim?
Yeah. Short for James, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does your family feel about what it is that you're doing?
Oh, they love it. They love it. I mean, you know, my family, they're huge fans of music. You know, really, well, I would say preferably R&B.
R&B?
Yeah, probably R&B. You know, they love all genres, but R&B is probably the main genre. But they love it. You know, they support me a lot. You know, of course they buy the records that I've done. And,
you don't support our baby.
Yeah. You know,
Yes,
yeah, I love it. You know, it's nothing like family who supports you in your dreams and, supports, other family. I love it.
How'd you put together your team? I mean, because that, coming along in entertainment, whatever area, putting together the right team is certainly important.
Yeah.
Having those folks that see what it is that you see, and they're looking at the same goal. So how did you go about, forming, those around you?
Well, throughout the years, I was really rebranding a lot of things, and I've had full teams, before, and it kind of fizzled out because of unprofessionalism and people just not doing the things they need to do. So I was really just seeking out people who were on the same page as me creatively, and who pretty much think the same as me. Like when you have that perfect marriage of people who have that same mindset as you, and they create like you, then it definitely works out. So right now, I'm blessed to have select songwriters and producers and artists that I work with very closely, and we just make the best product possible.
Now, there's a song that we're going to listen to first that you worked with, you produced with Bobby Brown Jr.
Oh yeah, Bobby Jr.
How is he as a, what? I got a lot of questions. I ain't gonna lie about Bobby Brown Jr. But what I'd like for you to do first is I want everybody to listen to the record. Because I remember watching the reality show with Bobby Brown in Houston.
Yeah.
And it was a glimmer of him.
Mm.
And he was doing something. I remember Bobby Brown saying, something to him about it. It was a show or something that he had coming up. I was like, oh, dude sing?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were gonna show a little bit more of that. I was a little disappointed. I was like, sound like you got a little bit of, something going on, you ain't going. I guess Bobby Brown was like, yeah, son, you want to, wait.
Yeah, especially at that time. There was a lot going on.
So what is the song that we're going to listen to?
This record is entitled Champagne Nightmares. This is the intro record to the project me and Bobby Jr. Released last year, entitled Champagne Nightmares as well, hosted by his father, Bobby Brown. Mm-hmm. And, it's just a short intro record, R&B kind of record. I'm pretty sure, once you guys listen, you'll see the voice of his father, very dominant. But shout out to Uncle B, man. I love it.
All right, well, we're going to listen to it right now. Champagne Nightmares.
Champagne Nightmares.
Bobby Brown Jr. Keep it locked right here.
Excuse me, I'm just trying to get a better view. Wasting time with these bros trying to get to you. Got me fucked up cause I'm trying to see a better you. Because I feel the realest when I'm spending time with you. And I forget so many things that I wanna hear. All because I might blow.
I'm not sure what he's even doing right now. I was wondering about it. Wow.
Really?
I think he's in South Carolina right now. I think he moved there. I think he's working on a new project. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Produced by James Worthy. Bobby Brown Jr.
Bobby Jr.
Bobby Jr. With the bad boy.
Oh yeah, Uncle D.
Pops. So tell me, how did you connect with Bobby Brown Jr.?
It was a while ago. It was a couple of years ago. I had a mutual friend that knew him. Because Bobby and of course his father, they're from Boston, and I had a mutual friend who knew Bobby prior to when I met him, and you know, he told me, he was like, "Yo, I got my friend Bobby Brown Jr. He's Bobby Brown's son. He's working on new music." And at this time, Bobby was pretty much really starting out as taking music seriously. And you know, I thought he had potential. You know, I thought he had a dope tone to him. He was a dope songwriter. And I was like, you know what, I gotta get on this kid. You know, I want to see what he can do. So you know, I got in contact with him and, you know, exchanged numbers and started talking, and I sent him some tracks. He sent them back to me, and I was blown away. I was like, man, his songwriting is crazy.
So he's writing his own.
Yeah, he writes all his own records.
Oh yeah, Bobby B.
Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. You know, he's a great songwriter. His melodies are dope too. So that's how we really came together, and you know, we just clicked. You know, my sound and what he wanted to do. You know, it all kind of clicked together. You know, we've been working ever since.
That's real hot. So does he have as far as his dad is concerned, do you hear a lot of influences from his dad, or are they coming from other areas?
Musically,
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of influence from his dad, but as far as the entertaining aspect, yes. Because you know, Bobby Jr. he sings, he raps, he dances, he writes his own records.
That's
So
a dance thing.
yeah, he dances.
You know, his pops was
his pops was a dope dancer.
You know, when he was in his slimmer days, you couldn't do nothing with.
Yeah, you know, Bobby Jr. He's more of an entertainer than anything.
Really?
You know,
Okay.
he gets that from his dad. So you know, you guys will see him in the new year in a very new light, you know, in a dope light, I should say. So you know, be on the lookout for him.
All right. How many tracks are you producing for him or doing with
him? Well, the last project we did, entitled Champagne Nightmares, we released it last October of last year, and that project had about 20 tracks on it.
Wow.
I did about 7 or 8 records on there. It's a dope project. We're working on new music as we speak. So you know, just look out for next year. You know, it's coming top of next year. You know, he's working with other producers as well. So you know, it's not just me. Shout out to other producers he's working with. You know, we're just coming together and making some new music. You know,
that's hot. That's hot. Tell me about Young Berg.
Young Berg.
Tell me about Young Berg. Yeah, I mean, because he's getting a lot of negativity, you know, splashed in the headlines right now, but you know him. And is what you're saying right now with Young Berg, is that him?
I mean,
just, you know, inquiring minds want to know.
I mean, you know, I really can't say too much on Young Berg because I mean, I really can't say yeah or nay if that's how he was back then.
Right.
I mean, I've seen some stuff here and there, but I mean, I think right now he's always kind of got a lot of backlash from throughout the years. You know, people trying to paint him as some little sucker or whatever, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But he's not like that though. I mean, he's a cool dude.
Pretty cool dude.
From what I've encountered from him, he was a cool dude. I just think, you know, he's on TV now. You know, of course, the backlash is automatic.
Yes.
When you come from a reality TV show like that, you know, they make up any story they can. And especially, you know, he had a history you know, social media backlash, you know, he's a target.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that just comes with the territory.
Young Bird, what are some of the things that you guys collaborated on?
I did a record. I did 2 records with him a couple of years back on one of his projects entitled Twitter Music. This is when he was releasing mixtapes early in his career. I think at this time he had started this thing on Twitter where he would give producers an opportunity to get on a project with him, you know, produce tracks for his project. He gave out his personal email through Twitter, and you know, producers submitted tracks to him, and you know, he chose you know, the tracks for the project, him personally. And you know, I was one of those guys where, you know, I've heard of him because I thought he was a dope artist.
Yeah.
You know, I think at the time, I think he had a single out called "Sexy Ladies," and it was a big record. And you know, he was saying he was putting out a mixtape series called Twitter Music, Volume 1 and 2. So I submitted some tracks to him, and you know, we picked about 2 of them.
That's hot. That's real hot. All right, and you got another song that we're gonna preview here.
Yeah.
I think I got the long one. Wait a minute, let me see. Adonica Nunn.
Adonica Nunn.
Sorry No More, produced by yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, tell me about Adonica.
Adonica, she's just one of those artists, man. She has a great voice. She has a powerful voice at that. I really can't say that for a lot of artists nowadays. You know, they can sing, but they can't sing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So you know, she's one of those singers who has that powerful voice. She can sing. And you know, I had to get something on her. You know, this record right here is entitled "Sorry No More." It's really a soulful, really I would say a ballad. You know, soulful ballad. You know, it speaks to a lot of women. You know, in the lyrical content. You know, it's something that she's gone through, but it's very influential for other women.
But we're gonna check this out real quick right now. Adonica Nunn, Sorry No More, produced by none other than James Wood. Keep it live. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because I want to get to, you know, current projects, you know, people who you want to work with. Content.
Talked about our future, and we want to see it. I believed in us. Open my eyes to only you. I never ever thought this would be. When you show them something new, and it feels like they were never there. Their heart was somewhere. I'm sorry, no I'm sorry, no every single time that I look down, I'm slowly gone, showing down. Open letter to the world. No, I'm not defeated. I did what I'm supposed to do. I'm releasing what I
Like that. That's one of them. I can see or I can hear a song like that in the soundtrack or it would be a real dramatic type.
Oh yeah.
Part.
Yeah.
I'm still really like. I had to look up like, oh man, I said I wasn't gonna play that much. Sound like a Sorry No More produced by James Worthy. What was the inspiration behind that particular song?
Oh man, we just went in the studio and I told her, man, I need to feel something. I need to bring some emotion out of you. And I gave her the track. That song is real emotional for her. That was a situation she went through. So she went to that place and Sorry No More.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, who are some of the people that you would like to work with moving forward? I mean, you already got a list already up under the belt, but who are some of the artists that you like to work with?
Oh man, Kanye West.
Yeah.
Frank Ocean. I want to do something with Mariah.
Mariah Carey?
Yeah, because I've been hearing what she's been doing lately.
Like somebody gotta say.
Yeah. I gotta give her
So
something.
she got a heck of a range now.
Yeah.
She got a ridiculous range.
I don't know what's going on with her lately, but yeah, I need to give her something. But
all right, Mariah, you got something for you.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, Mariah, pretty much just I just work with anybody who I can really just create with. Not something that's not organic or something that's just manufactured. Like we all gotta be on the same page and let's make music. Let's make some good music. That's it.
Yeah, because we love good music. It's something that you can just put in and ride down the street and just feel it, or be at home and relax, and you can get yourself a little drink. And just relax. Just you don't have to keep hitting skip or what I mean.
Exactly.
Some of those one-hit wonders, those artists that you really miss that, and that's something that you made, and I'm enjoying.
I appreciate that.
So what are some of the projects that you have coming up, and how can people reach it and all that? So projects. What projects you got?
For the projects, I'm working on Truth Hurts. Doing a new EP with her. We got a single that's gonna be releasing next year. More of like a it's more on the style of overseas vibe. R&B overseas vibe. Not taking away from what she's already built, but just putting a twist to it.
Okay.
So we got Truth Hurts. Working with Ishi from Arrested Development.
That's hot.
Working on her solo project with her.
She's doing the solo thing.
Yeah,
right?
she's doing a solo thing.
Okay.
I believe she has a single out right now. The name of it. It's a great record.
Okay.
What else am I working with? I can't give out everybody.
All right.
Can't give out everybody.
We gotta have you come back. Is that
yeah. I'm gonna bring you those records.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm just going into the new year with just a new mindset for music. Just a new ear. Because I think change needs to happen, and
I agree.
I'm really just on the verge of developing artists who I think have longevity.
Right.
So just look out for that.
I'm glad to hear that. Man, how can people stay in contact with James Worthy? Because I want to say I've appreciated your time here today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
taking time out and come in, and you're really easy to talk to, man.
Thank you.
You can tell those that you ain't got to get that yes no, like, so what you think about music? It's like,
man, see, I don't do all that.
Like, what?
And you know what I'm saying? I'm a very like passionate person in what I do. So when you ask me something, I gotta give you an honest answer. That's just me.
I appreciate that. So how can people stay in contact with you and follow the things that you do?
Oh, definitely. You guys can contact me on Twitter at Dream Music Group. It's the word dream, the word music with a K, and the word group, all one word. Instagram, James Worthy Hitmaker. Hitmaker spelled HITMAKA, not the regular.
All right.
Facebook, producer James Worthy. You know, I'm all over the internet. You know, just holler at me.
That's hot. That's hot. This is cool. This is cool. I appreciate you, man, for like I said, stopping by and spending time. And we'll put this up so that people can check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again. I appreciate that.
You know, you just never know, man. I'm pretty sure we're going to run into each other again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, Atlanta's small. You know, we know the same folks.
Yeah.
So, you know.
What's going on, bro? Definitely. So make sure you guys support everything that's going on with this brother right here, James Worthy. I mean, I love the freshness, the talent, and, you know, the writing. Man, just all around, you know, talented kind of guy. So
thank you.
Make sure you guys support him. Your Twitter one more time.
My Twitter is Dream Music Group. That's the word dream, the word music with a K, and the word group, all one word.
All right, and if you haven't done it already, like our Facebook page by going to TheBeatDropsRadio.com. Right at the top, you see the F. If you click on that, it'll take you to our Facebook page and click like. And once you click like, suggest us to all of your friends. Follow us on Twitter at BeatDropsRadio, and also my Instagram, Bianca_Burwell. I've enjoyed my time. Make sure you keep it locked right here on the Beat Drops Radio, where we try to keep you current with all of the music, news, talk, and entertainment. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, until next time.
All right.
All right, be safe.
All right. That was great.
Enjoy it, man.